Hey, we good here? Good. I'm getting back to work.
So, welcome to the Purple Pill Podcast. We're back again. We're streaming on Twitch today. Uh, so, how you been doing this week? Let's just get right into it.
This week has been hot. Just hot. Just hot. Am I wrong?
I mean, I had a decent week. I've been in the AC a lot. We started going back to the offices.
Y'all started going back to the office?
We did. We
Interesting.
went back on Wednesday. And then, God damn it, I went to Indiana this past couple of days. Helped a buddy move. It rained for like 12 hours straight.
In Indiana?
It was disgusting.
That's crazy.
Went
While you
to-
were moving?
Yeah.
That's
rained
the
while we were
worst.
moving.
That is the worst.
I moved all his couches with him. He had like 20 beds for some reason.
Beds.
Not really. There was just a lot of beds.
Yeah.
Um, I moved a litter box for the first time in my life. That was an experience. I did not know.
What's there?
I did not know that people who own cats had to own a litter box.
Yeah, you got to.
Apparently, your animal shits in your house.
Yeah.
That was.
You didn't know you
eye-opening.
had to have a litter box?
I mean, the cats don't go outside, I guess.
there's
so-
certain cats that can go outside, but no, you got most of them have litter boxes. Yeah.
I figured that out.
Yeah.
I tried my first non-alcoholic Heineken.
That sounds gross.
That was. It tastes just like a Heineken. Just didn't get you drunk.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like a good experience either.
Just saying, it was there. It was an option. I got to go to one of Indiana's breweries / bar things. We got a couple of their like signature brands of whatever. Fantastic. There was one that was clear. It tastes like not strawberries, cherries, but it was like a whiskey that was clear. It was I can't describe it. It was
That's
phenomenal.
interesting.
I forget the name of the place, but if we ever go back, I'll take you.
For sure. Cherry whiskey?
It was fantastic. I liked it.
Interesting. How you been, Rob?
I've been good.
So that was my week.
I've been good. I went to a baseball game this weekend. That was fun.
Which one?
The Columbus Clippers.
I don't know who that is.
Columbus Clippers? We got a baseball team here.
I've never been.
Oh,
I
man.
don't really.
It's actually a
follow
really
baseball.
good park. They say I was reading about it before I went because I went with my dad. They were saying it's like one of the best, has one of the best menus in all the minor leagues.
When you say
I was-
menu,
Venue.
Menus like
venue.
like
Yeah.
vendors.
Oh.
They have a Roosters in there. They have a
Oh,
City
nice.
Barbecue in there.
Oh.
They have regular ballpark food.
Where's this place?
It's Huntington Park. It's downtown.
We're going. That's what we're doing this summer.
I told Rob, man. You gotta go at the right time of the night, man. You gotta be at night because it's
at
hot.
nighttime.
I think you. What time was the game last night?
Yeah.
The
What
game
time
we
was
went
it?
to was at like 7:05. They're going to
PM?
be here again in 2 weeks, but I told my dad I couldn't go because of the counter fight.
Who's
So-
he fighting?
But they're going to be. It's going to be here all summer. It was really fun. Just go there, go to the ballpark, and yo, let me tell you, Darren. There's some fine ass white girls at that game.
Yeah.
They're going to have a field day.
Would you?
Why me? Why me? Why me?
Ask him
I
again.
think I think we all will have a field day.
I don't
I
know.
mean-
My girl watches this, so you
I
can
mean,
talk to
not
me about that.
not him. I think
Uh-uh.
any
That's the devil. Look at you, dry snitching. I'll quit. Y'all gotta start paying me. I give up.
me and Rob, anybody would go there and have fun. Anybody would go there
Oh
and
my
have fun.
god! After everything I done did for you, you
But
gonna throw me
I
on the
say
bus?
anybody would go there and have fun.
The only
You
the
the
only
one who
problem
said
was
the reason why. I like food, me personally. That's why I have fun.
What was the problem, bro?
I paid $10 for a draft beer, for
For
large,
one?
for a large draft beer.
Like
Oh,
a 24 ounce?
Bro, it wasn't even that big for real.
Was it
I smashed like two. of them.
$10?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, we're gonna have to sneak my girl and her person because I'm not doing that.
You said Roosters?
Roosters is in there. City
Do they not have
Barbecue's
a
in
bar?
there. And for real, you can just walk around the park and just hey, what's going on with the game? Just wait till the end. It was a good game too. We lost in overtime in extra innings, but it was a good game. Shout out to
I don't think I've ever
my
watched
dad
a
caught a
baseball
ball
game.
too. He was on the news and shit apparently
Word?
for like a brief second. It was crazy.
Can you play it? Is that on TV?
He sent it to me. It's not a good video. I could actually put it up here if I wanted to.
Do it. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, let's see that real quick, man.
Let's see that. Shouts out to Rob's dad. I don't know your name
I'm
because
not
Rob's rude and
I
doesn't
can send
introduce
it to y'all
people.
real quick. Where's my-
Should have brought him on. We could have talked to him. Add him on.
FaceTime real quick.
Put him on there.
But the funny part is, I ducked out the way because I almost got hit in the face by the ball.
Oh shit!
Like I know this sounds crazy as hell. The ball was coming. The guy hit the home run, and it was coming at me, and the ball got hit over to us before, but they had nets up that are like 20 feet high. So I was like, oh shit. So when it was coming the second time, I was like, okay, I got to judge this thing and see if it's gonna go over the net or not. I was like, oh no, it's going over. Oh, I need to get out the way, and I got out the way. It said boom, and my dad said, I got the ball. It was wild. It was wild.
You caught it barehanded?
No, it hit right behind us, and he just picked it up.
I was about to say he's done.
Could you imagine him?
No, you can't catch that thing.
Could you
barehanded.
imagine him just saving your life and just being like, boom, like, just catching that?
Bro,
thing.
Darren, when I tell you that
Yeah,
it
it's
would have hit me
wrong.
right in the head. It would have hit me right in the head if I didn't move.
Why you have a helmet on?
I know he was probably like, oh shit.
So wait, they don't have nets at baseball games?
And they do. And you can just clear it.
All right,
Oh,
It
shit.
depends
watch
on
that
where
real
you're
quick.
sitting too, though. Depends on where you're sitting too, though.
We were in right field.
You never been to a baseball game?
Nah, not
I've
since
been
my
to baseball games
older
before.
brother used to play.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Going to a baseball game is like the only experience of a baseball game. You can't watch it on TV no more.
Yeah.
Once you go there, you start to realize, yeah, this is why the sport is. You gotta be here to like.
I've been to
witness.
soccer, football, hockey, basketball.
Also, you just
Lacrosse.
learn shit. I learned all types of shit there just from being there. They had new rule changes and bullshit because of COVID.
Yeah.
Apparently, they have a new rule saying that if it goes to extra innings, you automatically get a player on second base.
Bro, where are you in this video, man? This
Oh, I
is
ducked out the
hilarious.
way. You see me for like maybe a split second.
No,
I
I
don't see
saw.
him. I didn't see him.
I saw. I don't know.
Because I ducked out the way, bro. That thing came in fast, Darren.
Oh shit!
Because I saw it. I watched it the whole time. I was just judging if it was going to go over the fence or not. Over the net or not.
You looked at that ball like it was your enemy. When you
Uh-uh.
dialed it up. You looked at it like, bro,
Y'all good?
like don't come for my head again.
Bro, that's my worst fear. My worst fear is being in the wrong spot and getting a foul ball coming at you and you're not paying attention. That's one thing you have to be. You got to be paying attention. You at least for the bat sound.
I am weak. Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna just wear a helmet or a suit of armor.
Bruh.
That's gonna really get it going.
I don't know how you survive it. I don't know how you survive
Did
it.
you get paid if you get hit?
Absolutely. If it does, yeah.
If it does any damage?
Yeah, I think there was a case.
You should have got hit, Rob. We would have been paid.
I think
we would
there
have
was
been
a case
sponsored.
I think a kid got messed up.
Bro, I'm
man.
not. Bro, first of all, you know that was probably a fastball, so that's probably going like 93 to 95 miles per hour because it's a minor league game. And off a bat, that thing's probably coming at me like 120 miles to 110 miles per hour.
Okay.
I'm
so,
not taking that on the head.
Let me adjust my answer. We would have been super paid.
Nigga, I would have been paid or dead. I ain't going out like that. Trust and
You would have
believe.
died.
I ain't
You
going out
said-
like that.
This is God saying, yeah, you said you wanted to be rich, right?
You
All right,
would've
I'm about to
died.
take an eye.
Worst case scenario, you just get a dent right here.
Oh,
Them balls are-
nah, bro. Nah, them just hurt. Them
I
just-
bet. I'm just
bro.
talking shit.
Yeah, man. Nah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad your Ultra Instinct kicked in and you
I know.
dodged the bullet.
Trust and believe. I had my eye on the ball the whole time. I saw it off the bat. I was like, "Oh shit, that's coming towards us. Oh shit! I need to start judging this ball if you see if it goes over the net. Oh, it's coming over. I need to get out the way. Then all I heard was boom, and my dad said, "Ah!" I was like, "Oh my god, this nigga really just got a ball."
That's why that beer costs so much. They didn't want you to keep on drinking to the point that you didn't have the instincts to dodge it.
That was great, that was really fun.
How was the audience, the crowd? Was it mixed race? Mostly white people?
It was mostly white people, but there was a couple of black folks here and there. Black people like baseball.
You there?
Yeah,
it's a good game to go to, bro.
How many baseball games have you gone to?
I went to a Cincinnati Reds game like a couple weeks
I've
ago
never
on my
been to a
birthday.
baseball game.
It was kind of dope.
I lied. I have been at work during a baseball game and watched a baseball game. When I was working in D.C., I got to see the Capitals.
I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I got to see them.
That's dope. That's dope. Look, it's always a good time if you ask me. It's just
I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I don't really know the rules of baseball. Besides, you hit the ball and you run. I don't really know.
That's pretty much it. And then if somebody tag you with the ball or get it to the base before you run to it, you're pretty much out.
There's no fouls.
Yeah, if you hit it.
I don't know all that shit.
I mean, it's just shaped like a diamond. If you hit it and it goes outside the base, your vision, out east. I don't know how you explain
out your vision.
I don't know how to explain it. Out of
it's called a foul ball.
Bounce.
Thank you, Rob. I don't know how to actually. Yeah.
It's out of bounds. If you hit the ball, the ball has to hit in bounds before it can go out. It can go out, but it has to hit in bounds first. But it has to get past the first or third baselines. Does that make sense?
Okay, that's fair.
And if it hits the outside first, it's called a foul ball, which is an automatic strike. Unless you already have 2 strikes, then you just keep going until you just keep pitching.
And then 3 strikes, you're out.
I mean, multiple fouls, but if you, well, never mind.
Yes, you can have multiple fouls up to 2, but after you have 2,
I'm thinking about balls. Like when
that's when you
it's
walk
outside. Yeah, it's totally opposite.
All right.
Know?
So anyway,
what we got this week?
Darren,
anyway?
I think you're next. What happened with you this weekend, bro?
This week, it was pretty chill. It was just pretty chill. It's been pretty chill. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just been pretty chill.
We watched Rick and Morty, and that shit was hilarious.
New episode's gonna come on tonight too.
That shit was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
That's like one of the only shows I couldn't get into.
You didn't like Rick and Morty?
It was cool. It was whatever to me. I wasn't impressed about it.
Rick and Morty's definitely one of those shows.
It had its moments. It did have funny moments.
That you gotta watch with a drink in hand. You know.
I think it's just like hilariously thought out. Like it's genius thought out, but it's hilarious as well. Like in this episode, I don't know if we should do a spoilers alert right now or what.
Yeah, froze.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
But let's see if I'll just come back on.
You're kind of coming back.
As I was saying, in this past episode, you get to see like Morty really. Bro, it's just weird. Like from season 1 to season 5 right now, you really see how Morty, Summer, all of them, all the family actually adjust to having Rick in the house, and that's the funniest part to me. Like, because they're all pretty much becoming a different version of Rick. Like Summer is pretty much just the know-it-all, but at the same time can do any type of mission by herself. She can go on the missions by herself. Morty, he obviously just wants a normal life for a day. I promise you, he just wants a normal life for a day.
He's tired of that Akira shit,
bro. It's genius, bro. It's just genius how they think it out too.
It's just it keeps my attention. Well, that shows like that, Final Space. I like to watch anime a lot because it's just shit that you will never really see, and it's just wild. It keeps my attention well.
Actually, I did see a movie last night.
What was that?
The Little Things. Have y'all seen that movie?
No, what's that about?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
What's that about? Darren?
All I can say is I think they're pretty much just trying to solve a crime.
Oh, don't tell me.
that's
Don't tell me
right.
about it then. I'll check it out.
That's
That's
all I
right.
want to say. Like
I'll
they're
check it
pretty
out
much
then.
just.
It's on
Was it
HBO
on
Max.
Fox?
I'll watch it tonight.
Nah, it was on It was on HBO, I
I
believe.
think it's on Plex.
And then I kept on watching Tenet. I keep on watching Tenet. I watched multiple breakdowns of Tenet, and I'm still trying to. There's still parts that I'm a little bit fuzzy on.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching Tenet too. I need to watch it
Leto's
probably
in
like
this?
2 more times.
Yeah, he's.
That's right.
Oh yeah, he is.
That's right.
I can't
I
say
haven't
nothing
watched this
else.
shit.
You've seen
I'll
it?
check it out.
Yeah,
I'll
I
definitely check it out.
remember the preview.
I look. I didn't say it was my favorite movie, but I will say, um, it
Epic
wasn't.
Assyrian
It
or
wasn't a
Overwatch.
bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie.
I hated the first, like, 2 Harry Potters.
You don't like Harry Potter?
First 2 movies I didn't like.
The
Oh,
Sorcerer's Stone.
I think when they were kids, that was the best.
The Sorcerer's Stone.
I liked
and-
them when they got darker. When the movies themselves got darker.
I mean,
That
but
makes
you
sense.
understood. You understood why.
But you have more attachment to the characters
Right,
because
like-
you grew with them, though.
That's probably true.
You know what else I saw this weekend? The preview for Fast 9. Why are they in space?
I stopped
How-
watching Fast
Look,
and Furious.
this doesn't even make sense anymore.
Oh, Darren,
Look,
before we go into that, I want you to go exit and come back.
man,
I can see him just fine.
Yeah,
It's
but
probably
he's not. It's an OBS.
say something.
Yo,
All right,
yo.
we're back.
Big bet. All right. So, how are they in space? I just don't get it. Look, multiple people said they fell out with Fast and the Furious because it just got too it got unrealistic. Me personally, I didn't think that at all. But when you're going into space is when I'm starting to think like I just gotta see it in context with the movie. But this is the first time where I'm like that, and also when they was just driving through buildings in Abu Dhabi, in like the last one, it was just like y'all tripping.
Bezos going out of space. Why can't they? They got bread. They
Nah,
got
man.
mechanics.
Jeff Bezos is totally different, man.
They got bread.
When is he
They
going
coulda
to
stole it.
space?
And
When
Darren,
is he
it's
going
Good
to
question. No idea.
You said what?
It's as simple as this. As long as people keep seeing the movies, they will keep making the movies. As long as they keep making more money than they spend on it, they're gonna keep making them. Simple as
Diesel,
that.
baby.
Simple.
You got The Rock. You got John Cena. You got everybody.
Man, I don't know, man.
So
I-
if
look,
you
I'm
want it
not-
to stop, you got to
I'm
stop
not-
supporting these movies.
I'm not against them making their money or anything like that. It's just
I am.
at some point, when do they start focusing on the next generation of these guys?
What makes you think there's going to be a next generation?
Well, if they're gonna keep it going for this long, they might as well drop the next generation.
This
They
is
might as
where
well
you find
figure it
out that they're all vampires.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying, Darren. Just
damn.
kill
Oh,
it. bro.
freaked out. Yeah.
Kill it.
Nah.
Kill a good thing. What's the Batman quote?
Either you live long enough to be a villain, or you die the hero, or some shit like that, right?
What
Either die the hero, or you live long enough to see yourself.
They're
become the
talking
villain.
talking about how either they should end the Fast and Furious and die the hero, so it could still be like a great series, or let them just start telling off to the point that we don't even think the early movies was good. Who was it though? I think it was Rob's boy that said the second movie's the only one that's actually like really a connoisseur for cars. And I really thought about it, and that's a very on point thing. Very
What's the second
true.
one?
That's where they introduced Tyrese and Ludacris. It's the very first one that they introduced them. Yeah, and to me that is true. Like you got into the car a little bit more, the nods and everything. It was a little bit different.
When did it start?
Slow
When did it start going? When did it start going downhill?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know that statement.
Has it gone downhill?
For me, not really. It's just like at some point, not even military people have this. I'm guessing even like a CIA agent don't even have this much action in their life. So it's just like, man, like how like
They're
if
superheroes,
the
man.
like, I don't think army people don't have this much action in their life. At some point, you just gotta be like, bro, y'all been across the whole world. Tyrese had a jet at one point that he owned with beautiful women on it. Luda had his own garage at one point. Like everybody looked like they were just successful and happy. I just don't understand why they just couldn't just be. You know what? I'm gonna sit this mission out, y'all. I'm good. I'm gonna stay back. I'm good.
Because they're family.
Dog, I'm good.
Isn't that what he said?
I'll play backup then. That's what I would say. I'll play backup. Get me on a Zoom meeting.
I just stopped watching them. It's not that I thought they were bad. I feel like the quality hasn't degraded.
No.
If anything, the quality is improved in the movies.
Yeah.
But I just stopped watching, to be honest. After
Quality has improved.
like the special effects, the cars, all the drifting, all the cool cinematics. Yeah, in that sense, the quality has improved in those movies. Now the dialogue, the character development, I don't think people watch those movies for those. So I'm not even going to include
So
that
you
in the
don't judge
score.
it on it. That's
Yeah,
smart.
I just stopped watching them, to be honest. Like if I went somewhere and they had it on, I'd watch it.
Now we got a really good conversation going because now
you know,
I'd watch it.
I think
Wait,
that's
wait,
a
Rob.
definition of like cotton candy, of junk food. That's like junk movie.
I mean, I'm not
think
going to
that's-
argue
I don't
that
think that's
fact.
any type of. That's just bullshit. Then it's just bullshit to me. Then
I'm not going to argue that fact. But if it was on, I'd watch it.
aren't there a lot of action? There's a lot of action movies that are just pure action. And that's what we look for when we go to watch it.
but when,
I'd
when there's
never
a
turn it
special
on,
action movie,
But if it's
think
on,
about John Wick compared to your normal action movies that come out every single year.
that's what I'm saying.
The reason people are drawn to it is because it was so stylized and it sexualized that genre so well, and at its pace we hadn't seen in years. It was new and improved and different, but it was still the same.
I mean that's
I like it.
Fast and Furious started off like that. I think the thing that you're saying, Rob, is like they're drifting so far away from the you gotta beat me in a race to nice cars, and then we gotta get away from these people, but whatever story with the second one, to drift in the cars, to now it's nothing but the story. We're not even having to do nothing about the cars. They just help us get out of the situation that we're in.
At this point, though, Rob, that show has transcended any logic, any sensibility in measuring it in that fashion. Like, it's just gotten too big. Like, it can't fail at this point. You can literally, like you said, put them on in outer space, and it will work. It will do numbers, just because it's too big to fail.
It's too big to fail. You know
I don't
what?
think
The
that-
reason why I think this one is not going to fail is because of COVID. Like you said, I don't know if you said this on air or
People are
before.
ready to go.
I love going to see movies. Like this one, like last movie I seen in theaters. I remember it was John Wick 3, Parabellum, I believe. Yeah, and it's a great experience. I think a lot of people are just going it's the
Wanna go
perfect timing for that movie to go. It's either that or Space Jam. People are going to go and see.
I'm going to go see Space Jam. I'm going to see Bronny in theaters.
Yeah, I think.
And I'm going to go see the Marvel one. Black Widow.
Black Widow will be nice, yeah. I think that'd be dope in theaters. The
Yeah.
craziest thing is, we were talking about Tenet. I think because Tenet was made to be in theaters,
It
and
was.
then COVID broke out right
That's-
then and there, and
That's
it
the
just
crazy part.
and I think it would have been so great for them in
To
in
re-put it
theaters.
back in there.
Yeah, that actually be dope.
We should.
actually.
You can request movies. Like you can have private screenings.
Oh, that'd be crazy. That'd be
like
crazy.
$250 at Marcus. I'd split it with you. I'd watch it. I've never
I'll
seen
go
it
with
in
you guys.
theaters. I'd split
That
it.
would be dope. We should shout out everybody on the podcast that want to meet us there.
We could record the podcast there during the movie.
That would be crazy. That would be
dope.
crazy.
We have to take the sound and the video out of Tenet because I'm not getting sued with y'all.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But
We'll figure it
We
out.
could do it.
If anybody want to join in, we'll figure that out. He said
$5 a head. Let's go.
$5 a head. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. Watch Tenet, because I think it was really made for theaters, and when you listen to it just in your own crib, you be like, man, yeah, you know, there's supposed to be a little bit vibration in my seat that I'm supposed to feel when that happens. You feel me? You feel me?
It's crazy you even say that because we was up in Indiana and his people got the Sonos surround sound in their house.
Oh, that's dope.
And when I was watching Pirates of the Caribbean, that shit started going. I was like, I turned around, I was like,
What is this?
who is here?
Bro,
Like, y'all got ghosts in the house?
bro, if you feeling like you in the perfect box of
Man.
bro.
Like, it was real surround sound. Like, I was like, oh, this is how white people live.
just anywhere, man.
Y'all still adopting adults? I'm an African
You
kid.
said,
I will take adoption.
he said I'm different. I'll be the different strokes kid.
I swear to God, I put that polo shirt on.
Man, what you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about?
Nah, man.
All right. Y'all want to get into this video?
Yeah,
do it.
let's do it.
All right. So
I love
go ahead.
to forget what it's about entirely,
14
but
minutes.
the synopsis is this lady had a little bit of a different perspective on racism.
Different. Okay, let me see this.
all right, let's check this out.
A Black News Tonight exclusive. Last week, we covered how, during a virtual talk at the Yale School of Medicine, Dr. Aruna Khilanani, who is a forensic psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, used language that some considered violent and hostile. Take a listen.
I had fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way, burying their body, and wiping my bloody hands as I walked away relatively guiltless. With a gun to my step, like I did the world a favor.
After the speech, the Yale School of Medicine released a statement that said, "We weighed our grave concern about the extreme hostility, imagery of violence, and profanity expressed by the speaker against our commitment to freedom of expression." And they decided to make the talk available only.
Yeah, y'all want to read that again? Because I want to read that again. I don't know what the fuck you said.
Go ahead. I just want y'all to.
I have fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person. I don't want to read this. I feel like
This is crazy.
I feel like somebody's going to
You heard
mess up
me
my
say-
audio and redo this. Yeah,
I'm not reading it.
like
You
yeah.
can press play if you want.
I'll read it then.
Okay, that's you.
I'm sure you will, Rob.
I'm not saying.
No, so this is what forensic psychiatrist and psychoanalyst. What's her name?
Aruna Khilanani?
Dr. Aruna
Khilanani?
Khilanani. Her picture's on the screen. So this is what she said.
She's
I
got a
had
lot of
fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way, burying their body, and wiping my bloody hands as I walked away relatively guiltless, with a bounce in my step, like I did a world a effing favor.
Okay.
That is pretty graphic, honestly.
Okay, let's go.
The Yale School of Medicine released a statement that
We're
said,
gonna watch this whole
"We
thing.
weighed our grave concern about the extreme hostility, imagery of violence, and profanity expressed by the speaker
do if
against
you do
our
work with
commitment
her?
to freedom of expression." And they decided to make the talk available only to people who attended.
Mind you, this is a medical school.
Joining me now is forensic psychiatrist and psychoanalyst Dr. Aruna Khilanani. Thank you so much for
Ready
joining me
for
on
this.
Black News Tonight.
Hi, thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Let's start with April 6th. You gave a virtual talk at Yale. What was your intention? What was the premise of the talk for you?
So the intention is to actually talk about unconscious negative feelings,
Because if we're not actually aware of unconscious negative feelings, it's going to turn into a violent action. And people who are actually can access and tolerate negative feelings are mentally healthier. So of course I don't want to kill white people. That's completely ludicrous. But I think through my words, white people feel like they're actually getting murdered because my words are troubling. It's going to cause the death of their preferred self-image, their image that they've had through colonialism of being good, helping, and teaching. And as a psychoanalyst, I had a goal, which is to access unconscious feelings around race. So my work is actually about accessing unconscious negative feelings and ideas in the unconscious. So I was normalizing negative feelings, which is also what I do in my practice in psychoanalysis and psychotherapy.
So I'm going to read this again. You said, I had fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person
So I didn't
that
even
got
have
in
to
my
read it.
way,
We're cutting that whole
burying
thing
their
out.
body and wiping bloody hands as I walked away relatively guiltless with a bounce in my step, like I did the world an effing favor. That type of feeling, first of all, what creates that type of feeling in a person of color toward white people, and how common do you believe that feeling is?
So the feeling of frustration and rage is actually very common. And I'm talking about it sort of metaphorically about how difficult it is to actually have an honest, direct conversation with somebody on race, because what you're coming up against is defenses. That's not happening. You're the problem. You're seeing things. And it's that level of frustration. So I'm talking metaphorically about the level of frustration, and I'm not speaking literally, but I am speaking about a feeling of futility about not being able to move further in a conversation. And I think that feeling is very common amongst people of color.
Have you ever expressed that fantasy before in an academic setting or any other formal professional setting?
No, but not around race, but I think around fantasies of killing are actually very common among psychoanalysts. It's like sort of the work that we do. And talking about that kind of stuff in forensic psychiatry is also very common. I think it got flagged because it's around race.
That was my next question. I mean, you're a trained expert. You're trained in psychoanalysis. And when we think about psychoanalysis, I mean, we enter all kinds of spaces around violence, around sex, what's in the mind is boundless, right? But something different happened here. Were you shocked that in a context where you're around peers, around other people who sort of know the various precincts of the mind that you can travel to, were you surprised that you got this kind of response?
Are you talking about the aftermath, or which part are you talking about right now? Just what happened over the past week?
Actually, that's a great point, right? So I guess the first question is, because most of us only got to hear it, we didn't get to see it because the audio was leaked. First of all, what was the response from the people in the room, and was that different than the response from people?
First of all, I gotta say this. I think this brother's doing a pretty damn good job. I gotta say that right now. He's pretty solid so far.
All right, keep going.
All right.
Black News Tonight. There you go.
So from people in the room, it was all positive. It was something that I had never seen in a grand rounds before, which is all the people of color were speaking up and speaking up first. And something interesting also happened, which is a lot of the white people felt sort of emotionally safe enough to ask vulnerable questions, to put themselves out there, but it was an overwhelmingly positive response.
I would expect so.
Wow. So the controversy comes afterward. And we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, and I want to talk about the controversy after and why you think that's happening. Everybody stay with me. We'll be back with more of an exclusive B&T interview right after this.
So, she had a
Welcome
different
back
view.
to Black News Tonight. I'm still here with Dr. Aruna Khilanani as we talk exclusively about her content of her virtual talk, The Psychopathic Problem of the White Mind. Before we talk about the kind of consequences there of
Is
your
that her
speech, I want to talk a little
book?
bit more
What was
about
that?
some of the white mind, about her content of her virtual talk, The Psychopathic Problem of the White Mind.
That's her
Before we
talk's
talk
name,
about the
dog.
kind of consequences there of your speech, I want to talk a little bit more about some of the things that you said in the speech that I thought were interesting and compelling. You said, this is the cost of talking to white people. The cost of your own life as they suck you dry. There are no good apples out there. white people make my blood boil. When you say there are no good apples out there,
Yeah.
what kind of claim are you making?
I'm talking about people have this idea that racism is something that if you're consciously racist or if you're a Klan member, and I'm sort of making the claim that racism is something that is unconscious and it is actually in everyone, and everyone uses these words systemic. They're like, you know, I know that racism is systemic, and yet individually when you call them out, they'll be like, well, it's not me, you can't say that. And so there's a disconnect between use of the word systemic and saying that racism is everywhere, but the moment you point it out individually, there's sort of people disown their own violence and racism.
Would it be fair to say,
Yeah,
based
that's
on your
right.
expertise, that white people
Hold
are
on.
psychopathic?
I
agree
think
to that?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think
I
that
wanna hear her
there's many
explanation. I wanna hear her
lies
talk.
that, and didn't get to that part because what I delivered was only part of a first series of talks. But the level of lying that white people do that has started since colonialism, we're just used to it. Such
What
as
kind of
every
lies?
time every time that you steal a country, you loot, you say you've discovered something. I mean, this level of lie is actually part of history. We don't say that we killed all these people, we got rid of all the Native Americans. We say we discovered America.
You know, I think that would
You
be a
don't
lot more
talk about the
respected.
level
You know,
of
can we
death.
pause that
You
real
don't
quick?
talk about the level.
You know, I think in reality, we would respect our own country if they just kept it a buck and said exactly what the fuck they did.
I mean,
Not even apologize for it or anything. Just realized it, put that shit in history. Like, you did this shit and own it, because you can't. We always look at other people as bad because they're doing something, but in reality, this whole land is like exactly what she just said. It's just 100% what she just said, and I think we would respect that a lot more if they just own that shit.
I was having a conversation with a hardcore Trump supporter this weekend in Indiana. Flag country, whatever they call it. And he was like, "You probably didn't like Trump, did you?" I was like, "He wasn't my favorite person." And, you know, we had this little conversation. I was like, you know, the only reason why I didn't fuck with Trump was because he acted like his shit didn't stink. Now, I'm cool if you want to do back house, take back roads, do whatever you want to do, cut some corners, want to be shady, fine with me. Just let it be known that's what you're doing. Don't try to flip the script and oh, I know I'm doing this, but look what they're doing over here. Nah, just be like, yeah, that's what we're doing. End of conversation. And I would have been cool with that. I would have been cool with that.
I don't know.
I would have been cool with that. As
Mhm.
long as you tell me, you know, this is this, and that's it. I'm cool. I would have been cool. I would have been more cool with him, I should say.
If you just kept it a buck,
Kept it a buck with me.
but you didn't do it in an asshole way. You know what you're saying?
Even if he did it in an asshole, if he just kept it a buck with me, I would have been more on his side than I was. That's all I'm trying to make the point of.
That's I'm a little confused. You saying you would be more on with you would have rocked with him more if he would have just told you what it was?
If he had just kept it a buck,
Well, he
stop all
did.
the lying shit.
Did he? Oh no, he didn't. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I
there's
agree.
too much lying.
Yeah.
But
I
what
agree.
politician acts like their shit doesn't stink?
And that's what I'm saying.
I agree
Like,
with that, too.
if they just keep it a buck,
But nobody keeps
there'd
it
be
a buck.
so many less issues.
Nobody keeps
I
it a buck.
feel
Bernie Sanders would have.
Bernie kept it a buck. Joe's trying,
There's like one Bernie Sanders out of every thousands of politicians.
and I get that. And that's the problem.
That is very
Just keep
much
it a
the problem.
buck.
You know,
Like,
I
it's
wanna-
not that hard.
I just want to take the time out to say, you know, George Washington was 100% against the two-party system. Look it up. See your history, but I'm gonna leave that out for the people.
George Washington
Like-
owned slaves.
Like this lady
Yeah,
right here.
look, Rob, stop. Look, hold on, bro. No, we got to stop this. We got to stop saying everybody's bad because of one thing. The problem is exactly that. you're always going to be on one side of something. In reality, America has a real problem, and it's the separation thing. It's the legitimate, if whether it's classism, racism, whatever ism you want to throw into it, or Democrat, Republican, whatever thing you want to throw into it, that is not the problem. That is true. You could have a different set of opinions, and that was the past. I didn't live back then. I don't know what I would have been back then. So I can't. I
slave.
can't. Okay, fair enough. Or a free man.
Then they probably would have kidnapped you and made you a slave.
That's not always what happened.
Have you read 12 Years a Slave?
It's a movie and a book.
Did you watch the movie?
It's possibly a truth, but
It was based off his
not.
it's based off his what do you call it? Diary.
Diary.
okay. Dang.
The slaves know how to read and write back then.
He was a free man. He was a free man. He was a really educated free man. And they kidnapped him and said you're a slave, and he was a slave for about 12 years of his life on bullshit until his people came down and found him.
Wow.
So one of his white friends was like, "Yo, this is a free man. What you gotta get him as a slave," and got him off the plantations. It was sad, bro. That shit's sad as hell.
I bet you when the whole Liberia thing happened, he was like, "Yeah, I'm out. I can't do this shit no more. I'm going back to Liberia."
Mhm.
I bet you he was one of them. I would have. At that point, I would have.
I would say if you don't want to read the book, watch the movie. The movie's pretty solid.
Man,
Like, this lady's over here keeping a buck at Yale.
yeah. Let's keep
And
on
look
going
how
with this.
positive
Let's
it's
keep on
working.
going with this.
Like, politicians, like, if I pull up to the politician and let's say I really wanted tomatoes to be illegal, and I was like, "Yo, can we make tomatoes illegal?" And he looked at me, he was like, "That's fucking stupid. What's wrong with you? Get out of my face." I'd be like, it was kind of fucking stupid. I should ask for something better. Just keep it a buck with people. I'm trying to be funny, Rob. Oh my God, you can laugh. We're talking about racism.
I thought you were trying to
funny.
I thought you had a really bad metaphor for what you were
what?
trying to say. I thought you just had a really bad metaphor. I was confused.
It is also.
I was like
bad
tomatoes. Where's this going?
metaphor. If I had tomatoes, whatever.
Oh shit.
Are you
let's
ready
see.
to talk back around this?
You said what?
Are you ready to get back into talking about racism?
Yeah, let's do this.
Of what actually occurred. You wipe the slate clean, you sanitize the violence, and you actually got lost along the way. You're trying to go to India, and then you say you discovered something. And this level of discovery is everywhere. You've discovered vegetarianism. You've discovered yoga. You've discovered everything is a discovery, and it's all actually stolen.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about at this point is a kind of macro level, systemic, structural kind of thing. But you're also trained to think about the psyche, which is about the individual at a certain level.
Absolutely.
To what extent can we say that individual white people are psychopathic or unhealthy or out of their minds? I'm using this language for those who are watching. I'm using this language based on what was in the speech and based on other work that's been published. This isn't necessarily my personal opinion. It's the analysis here. Do you think, to what extent can we say that individual white people are this thing versus saying that there's a culture of theft, a culture of colonialism? And is there a useful distinction to be made between the two?
I think people, there is a useful distinction to be made. And on one level, yes, that's absolutely true. And it's different than actual individual psychopathy, the way that people conceive of it. On another level, when we are thinking about individual responsibility and how it is that people change, I think that using the words systemic and there's a culture operate defensively to not actually let yourself go into your own unconscious and go into those dark places of what you're actually doing. So I'm actually talking about it sort of as a defensive structure, like not acknowledging that on an individual level, I think can operate as a defense.
You say that we need to remember that directly talking to white people is a waste of time. It's useless, you say, because they are at the wrong level of conversation. Addressing racism assumes that white people can see and process what we're talking about. If white people are incapable of being engaged on race, and there's a structural dynamic that makes it somewhat impossible, or at least makes racism intractable, then are we in a place of hopelessness around racism? What are we to do?
No, I was talking about a feeling of futility, right? So I'm talking metaphorically about a feeling of futility, and the disconnect that I'm talking about is that white people actually, they have a different conscious experience of themselves rather than what they're actually doing. So my entire first series is what is the disconnect between their identity, how they see themselves, and what they're actually doing? What is the disconnect between their actions and how they view themselves? So I'm saying the reason they can't get it at this moment in time, and what the first series is what is white identity? How do they view themselves that is actually very different from their actions? So sort of naming that problem first so that we can actually move forward and talk about race.
Sometimes we say things and we do harm with our words, we upset people, and we regret it. And then there are times where we have to say, at least I believe, that just because white people are mad doesn't mean we did anything wrong, right?
Right.
That we shouldn't infantilize white people, we shouldn't center white people all the time. Which one of these are we dealing with in the case of your lecture at Yale? Is this a situation where you feel like you did some things that you could do differently, or that you did harm that was unintended? Or is this a case where white people are upset because they're being named and outed and subjected to scrutiny?
So I think the way that I framed the lecture was I sort of said that what is happening in this space is I'm giving you, since conversation around race is always hard, I'm inviting you into a room where we talk about you. And this is sort of a special invitation to first see how we view you, because that might be very different than your conscious experience of yourself. So it's sort of an invitation into sort of a sacred space to see how it is that white people are actually viewed.
So if you were able to give the speech, or if you give the speech again, would you use the same example? Would you appeal to the same fantasy metaphor, or would you do something different?
Well, you have to keep in mind the audience, right? So the audience that I spoke to are psychiatrists and mental health workers, and I'm talking about psychoanalytic stuff. And if they can't go there into those dark places, then I'm not sure like how we're going to be able to move forward. I do think that if it's a different audience, I probably wouldn't have used those metaphors. And I would cater it to who the audience is and what I feel like they're able to tolerate. But people in our profession are actually used to sitting with very dark feelings. It's our job to metabolize negative feelings. It's our job to make connections between the conscious and the unconscious. That is what we do. In our practices, we teach people how to tolerate those very dark places in their life that they normally can't actually go. And that's actually where we need to go in order to move forward on race. So I'm speaking to a group of highly trained individuals, medical professionals that are trained in doing this kind of thing and understand the importance of going into negative feelings, because if you can't actually tolerate your negative feelings, they're going to come out in actions, and they'll actually harm yourself, and you'll harm someone else as well.
Are they bad?
So for that audience, I wouldn't change it.
Been leaked.
Since
this audio was leaked, you have been. Since this audio was leaked, you've been a target of the right. You've been on every conservative dartboard. What's life been like for you?
It wasn't fun. Definitely wasn't fun. It's been really hard because, like I said, that this talk was for a certain group of people. And imagine that the group of people, like I said, this talk was for people who want to understand and are ready to hear about their own violence. That is how I framed it. Now, and I think of it in the sort of like the same way I think about psychotherapy. People come into psychotherapy and they come into psychoanalysis who are ready. They're ready to actually reflect. They don't want to keep saying the problem is outside of me, it's the world, it's my boyfriend, it's my child, it's this. They know that they need to do the inner work. Now imagine that the talk suddenly got leaked to the very same population of people that aren't ready to do the work and actually don't think that there's a problem. So if you aren't ready to do the work and you don't think there's a problem, what's going to happen? You're the problem. Yeah. It would be like me going around the world would be like, you need to do a psychoanalysis.
You become the problem. I mean, that's exactly the point, right? Is that they have decided that there is a problem, but it's you, because any type of race talk is the problem. And so anyone who mentions race or names race becomes the problem. And there's a way that your speech gave them a very convenient out. Doctor, we have to go, but thank you so much for sharing your vision.
The reason why I laughed is because when you went to the comments, somebody was like, she gets paid to say these things. I'm in the wrong profession. I was like,
right? There you go, Rob. You got a new job.
No, she's kind of different. She kind of cleaned it up at the end.
Yeah.
I see what she was saying that about like, but at the same time, I don't know.
What you
I see what she was saying that she made it for a specific audience.
But you can't say that shit though, right?
She made it for a
you can.
specific audience though, like she said.
So
You can say whatever you want. That's freedom of speech.
She's not like going to jail for that, and like she said, it was a metaphor.
Exactly. Not only that, it wasn't for people.
Is it a kind of a crazy metaphor? Yeah, but for that specific audience, I guess.
it should get the point across.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you're 9 to
thing
5
is-
is hearing about Jimmy wanting to kill his mom.
But the thing is there really a problem with your whole life, everything that you've known, because of everything in the world has pedestalized your people, and then somebody says, "Wait, hold on. The rest of the world don't look at you like that." In reality, you took a good amount of stuff. You took a lot of it, and you just claimed it. You just claimed it and said it was yours. Is there something wrong with that?
I mean,
That's my question. Is there
you
something wrong?
teach kids the first thing, don't steal, don't cuss, don't fight, things like that, right? So why is it any different for a group of people, I guess?
A group. I mean, but the thing is to tell you that you're doing. Think about telling somebody who's like 40 some odd years old that no, you're not. No, like we gotta.
Like, y'all didn't really even find America.
This pedestal that you're like up on, we're gonna knock it all the way down. Like you're not as one can even debate. I don't even want to say this, but because I'm not her. I don't know, man. I don't know. They good at taking stuff. Rob, what you think?
Rob's gone.
I feel like she filled all her holes that she was trying to cover. All like the plot holes that I had. I kind of feel like this was kind of clickbaity. But she covered up all the plot holes we have. I kind of want to hear like the conservative people, what the conservatives think. So I kind of want to go to the comment section and see what the conservatives
They
think.
heard that soundbite and they probably went off. But she had a little different.
But I don't think we have enough time for all that. But that's why I'm looking at the comments real quick.
This lady is completely insane. 5 likes. He actually has actual patience. Wow. Well, yeah, that's the thing, bro. Like, most people don't believe. If you don't believe in therapy, or you don't believe that you should go to therapy, that's one thing, right? But to tell somebody else what they should be hearing, and while they're in therapy, that's just judging. I feel like that's just judging. You feel me?
Welcome to America.
I think they're right because you see this conversation that these people are having.
Truly judge on the stupidest stuff.
I can't read it. It's just
This
funny.
has nothing to do with people. Now, if her patient actually went and did something, and this came out, now probably she's in some trouble. Violence is clearly a part of humanity and existed since almost the beginning. I don't know what that. Wait, what is this?
So just read the whole thing. So wow, this is I'm gonna read it out loud. Wow, this is really a clear picture of where we're at. On the way to normalize violence with absolute lightness. Surprised how she shows no remorse as she didn't say anything wrong apparently. And she gets invited on a TV to talk. I don't see problems, really. This world is seriously fucked. The person next to her said, she's literally a psychologist who deals with people's dark fantasies. Human psychology is fascinating, and violence is part of that. We like to pretend that belongs to other humans, but it's part of us all, and should be discussed and processed more openly to prevent people from acting on it.
My phone talking over you, but yeah, violence is part of us. Like violence is part of us, bro. I don't understand. We live in the Western world where it was the Wild Wild West at one point. We just talked about how this country was taken, founded, Well, it's like we're so quick to shy away from the actual conversation, but we'll watch a movie about that has violence in it, but we don't want to talk about nothing. So weird that we want to be entertained by everything that we don't want to talk about.
In some Eastern
That's the
countries,
weirdest thing.
That's funny you say that.
in some Eastern countries, like you can watch more, like over here, how we have things that are sexualized or rated R for adults. Over there, 16, 17, you can watch those. But action movies where there's killing, you have to be 21 to watch.
It makes sense.
Just saying.
To a certain extent, it makes sense, but also, well, you say where is that?
Different parts of the world.
Different. We'll
You got
think about
Japan,
this.
things like that.
We also come from a place where they used to watch hangings, beheadings, like
Publicly.
exactly, and that would just.
What
And
trials?
we act like.
That was to deter the society from doing what that guy did. See what happens when you do bad shit? That's what that was.
My thing is, we so quick to cancel people. Just not even try to talk to people or not even listen to them because freedom of speech is. I don't know. I get very confused with people. It's like because everybody has freedom of speech, nobody makes sense. You know, if you're a professional in your field, you probably make sense, right?
Sure.
Like for example,
We
computers.
gotta wrap up soon.
All right, I'll leave it at that. You know computers. I'll go to you for computers. I'm not going to question what you're going to tell me about a computer.
You're not going to question what I tell you about this computer after a 5-minute Google search of what you've done. Like, that's what people would do. Like, if I
Yeah.
went to my mechanic and he told me this and that was wrong, I'd be like, cool.
But-
I'm not going to be like, well, I Googled it and I think it might be.
But that's different because it's such a on point thing, right? That's man made. It's a thing. The brain is not man made. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different brain and a different way of thinking.
You gotta work
And
it
if
out.
we don't at least welcome that conversation in America, then the people that really got a problem with what she's saying and not willing to actually talk about it in a constructive.
Just cancel her because
Yeah.
I don't want to talk. It makes me uncomfortable.
Well, then go somewhere. You shouldn't have clicked on it. Go somewhere.
Why are you uncomfortable? Do you think that you doing something that needs you to be murdered? No, you don't. Then let's talk about it. Because she does.
How much time we got left, Rob? I feel like
No,
we could
zero
go on
zero
stop.
seconds. We gotta wrap up now.
All right, man.
All right,
Look, this-
so wrap up
My
there.
fault.
Like wrap up.
All right, go ahead. My fault. Wrap up. This one.
All right, so thank you all once again for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. We're live every Sunday on Twitch when we can. We upload every Tuesday on Anchor. We upload to YouTube Tuesday night as well. So make sure you keep watching our channel. Also, make sure you're checking out our TikTok at Inspired by Ambition. Check out our social medias, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And lastly, make sure you check us out on inspiredbyambitionpro.com. Darren's wearing his dope shirt right now. Go check that out. Keep supporting the podcast. Keep supporting the brand. We appreciate you guys. Peace out. Bye.
Peace. From small to triple XL, all inspired by ambition gear at Inspired